Carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates, there's lots written about them. There's whole books written about carbohydrates. And I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't care about carbs. We should. But broadly speaking, the way I would approach carbohydrates is there's the ultra-processed ones, and then there's the whole grains. I personally don't worry about the whole grains. I mean, studies on whole grains would absolutely tell you that whole grain consumption is protective for health. It's protective in terms of diabetes, cardiovascular disease, maybe even total lifespan. We also know that ultra-processed carbohydrates, the refined white flours, the white rices, the sugar, I mean, those carbohydrates are problematic to health. And so the goal is not necessarily to go on a low-carb diet. I don't mind low-carb diets, and if that's something you want to approach, that's fine with me. You can discuss that with your coach and your dietitian. But what matters more to me is of the carbohydrates you're choosing in your diet, that you choose quality ones, the whole grains. And so when it comes to carbs, blindly worrying about them all, I'm not sure that the literature would support that. But if you find a low-carb diet easier to sustain because you feel less hungry on them, well, then that's a good thing, not a bad thing. All this to say that carbs by itself is not a concern that I spend a great deal of time worrying about. I want to make sure people consume quality carbohydrates, just like I want to make sure they consume quality fats and proteins. But again, this is the healthiest life you can enjoy. Sometimes a lower carb diet or a low-ish carb diet can have some benefits, especially if the carbs themselves are quality carbs.